Oh, Rupa, as a matter of fact,
friend. Yes.
Yeah, she was the one who recommended, and she had researched about you. She'll be joining pretty soon. So,
okay, we are streaming now. Yes.
Go ahead. Yes, we are streaming.
Jai Janindra, welcome everyone to another episode of Kala Circle. Today we are going to have a talk on Ayurveda and how it would really affect your immunity, your health. And we are really happy to have her. We are going to start the session with Yogesh Bhai, our president, saying the Naukar mantra. And so I hand over to Yogesh Bhai.
Jai Jindra, everyone. We start with Naukar mantra, and as a president of Jain Center, I like to welcome you all and hope after this session you guys get some good tips to stay healthy. So let's start with Naukar mantra. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Uvachayanam, Namo Loe Savasanam, Eso Panchanamukaro, Savapavapasam, Manglanancha Sabvesim, Padamam Havai Mangala. Jai Jindra.
Thank you. Next, let's move on right to the session. I know you guys are all more eagerly waiting to really move on. Let me give you a little brief intro about Dr. Amita. She's a doctor. Amita Jain is a doctor of Ayurvedic medicine, a certified Hatha Yoga teacher, and a certified clinical hypnotherapist. After completing her undergrad degree in systems engineering from the University of Virginia, Amita pursued her intense study in Ayurveda and yoga. She has traveled to South India, where she has divinely led Swasa Yoga Research Institute, and then went to study Ayurvedic medicine at International Academy of Ayurveda. In 2017, she has opened Vedic Health, INC, as a non-profit organization to make holistic health available and affordable, accessible to all the mass, giving people the alternative solutions to healing. In her clinic, she has seen hundreds of people heal in amazing ways from the most serious conditions. She sees all kinds of cases, primarily complications or chronic cases, such as autoimmunity disorders, chronic pain, and illnesses, and more. Today, she's going to give us a brief talk on how to naturally increase our immunity and for a better living. So let's move on. Dr. Amita, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, everybody can see my screen? All good? Okay. First of all, Jai Janindra. I am very happy to be here. It's so nice to be with all of you today, and especially to be among the Jain community, very near and dear to my heart. I'm also very happy to be sharing this important information on Ayurveda and immunity with hopes that it can benefit you in some way and that you'll be able to make some small changes in your life that will yield huge results in terms of health as we age. So be prepared to get a lot of information and get ready to take notes. So please have your notepad, paper in hand. This presentation will be about 45 minutes. And after that, we will take some questions and answers. So you can note down any questions you have, and then afterwards you can post it to the chat. I chose this specific topic, not just for immunity against the virus, not just for COVID, but also to teach you that total well-being is more than just immune health, but it involves building our resistance to all physical and mental diseases. And it's this resistance power that will slow down the rate at which we are all aging due to modern day stressors. So let me start with immunity and how Ayurveda defines it. Immunity is known as Vyadhi Shamatvam. Let's all say together, Vyadi Shamatvam. In Ayurveda, this is defined comprehensively as the ability to resist all diseases and recover faster if you fall sick. So Vyadi Shamatvam is the immunity that lies within us as a disease-fighting power. So just as Ayurveda defines it, so modern medicine also states that immunity is the resistance power of an individual. It is that innate or acquired power to resist disease from afflicting health. This power differs from person to person, and it's not a permanent asset, meaning it can alter at any time due to different reasons. The trick is not only to develop good immunity, but to maintain it for life through various situations, environments, and challenges that we face. My purpose is not just to teach you about immunity and longevity, but also how to prevent autoimmune diseases, which are rising in our nation at alarming rates. The system of our body, which helps us fight disease and infection and brings us back to health, it's called the immune system. So I want to start out by showing you how common surgeries performed in this country, how it affects our immune health, so that you can closely see the synergy within our body. This synergy is what constitutes total health in Ayurveda. One common surgery is tonsillectomy. Our tonsils, though it is a small organ, play an important role in maintaining our immunity. The tonsils help prevent foreign bodies from finding their way to the lungs, almost like how goalies work in a soccer game. But tonsils also have the ability to filter microorganisms such as bacteria and virus. The immune cells that are present in the tonsils, they produce antibodies that help destroy the germs and keep our throat and lung infections at bay. For this reason, keep your tonsils in your children, in your grandchildren. Tonsillectomy is associated with triple the risk of upper respiratory tract diseases, triple the risk, and adenoidectomy is now linked to more than double the risk of the same. Yet when we have reoccurring infections, as usually as children, immediately doctors will say, just remove the tonsils. So now you have that information. But let's talk about another common surgery. Let's talk about the appendix. When we get sick, such as with a virus, or we have diarrhea, or our body loses much of its good bacteria. And that bacteria is found on the lining of our GI tract, along with white blood cells and other immune cells that fight infection. Studies show that the inside of the appendix contains that same material in larger amounts. So scientists are now believing that the appendix serves as like a safe house that protects good bacteria during infection, and it repopulates the GI tract once the infection is gone. This healthy gut bacteria is a vital part of our immunity. So you can imagine that an appendix removal is associated with long-term effects on our immune system. Okay. It also puts us at risk, elevated risk for having autoimmune disorders later in life. People who go through appendectomy, they also are at increased risk of digestive disorders like Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, even colorectal cancer. Yet, America continues to perform 300,000 appendectomies every year. Is it really necessary to remove our appendix? We must ask this question. And we remove 500,000 tonsils in children alone every year, most commonly due to simply recurring throat infections, which we have to understand. What is the root cause of those infections? Just by removing the tonsils, is that really solving the problem? Or are we putting our child at greater risks for upper respiratory tract diseases? What are the signs of a weakened immune system? So before I start talking to you more about how to strengthen our immunity, how to improve longevity, let us first recognize these signs. Chronic respiratory issues, that's a number one. You're getting oftentimes colds, or as soon as the season changes, we get into fall or winter, you start to see you feeling run down, you get fatigue or poor recovery, slower recovery from exercise, or maybe your sugar levels have increased, you have trouble waking up in the morning, maybe there's digestive trouble like constipation, bloating, gas. Oftentimes people will develop new sensitivities to foods or allergies. If you're developing allergies as you're getting older that you didn't have earlier, oftentimes we must look at immune health. Trouble sleeping, chronic skin conditions. In younger children, having multiple infections like ear infections, sinus infections. In women, chronic yeast infections. These are also signs of a weakened immune system. What are the factors that cause weak immunity? Well, here are the obvious ones. We all are well aware of these factors, right? Stress, smoking, alcohol, sedentary life, poor food choices, immunosuppressants, obviously, of course, and genetics. But here are factors that we may not have realized have an effect, a pretty drastic, significant effect on our immunity. Did you know that just 1 teaspoon of white sugar, it can suppress your immunity for 2 to 4 hours? Right. And most foods, packaged foods, contain some amount of sugar. So imagine what's happening to our immune systems if you are having sugar multiple times in a day. And sugar doesn't mean just having sweets and pastries. Sugar is almost in every single thing that you buy, in bread, in sauces, in dressings, in cereals, even in chips, there is sugar. So you have to consider yourself somewhat immunosuppressed if you have a strong sweet tooth. But also, prescription medications reduce our immunity, especially corticosteroids, but also antibiotics. Remember, we talked about the good bacteria being linked to our immune health. Chemotherapy, biologics, ACE inhibitors, even over-the-counter medications. So if you're taking regular use of ibuprofen, antihistamines, hydrocortisone creams, please know all of these affect our immunity. Even vitamin deficiencies, especially vitamin D. And don't assume that you're living in Southern California, beautiful weather, always sunny, that your vitamin D levels are healthy. Because we have darker skin complexion, we are wheatish, it is harder for us to absorb vitamin D from the sun. In fact, it would take over an hour of direct sunlight without any sunscreen on to expose skin to get the daily dose of vitamin D. So please get your vitamin D's level checked regularly, annually, but also vitamin E, vitamin C. Chronic poor sleep. I oftentimes hear in my clinic people say, oh, I get 6 hours of sleep, but I do just fine. They get adrenaline rush from their work, or they're taking caffeine or stimulants and they stay awake, but chronic poor sleep will definitely hit your immune system pretty hard. At the same time, prolonged overexertion. Overexertion means by the time it's 8, 9 o'clock at night, you feel wiped out. Oh, I have no more energy left. You had a very crazy busy day. Now you don't have energy left for you time, for your relaxation, for R&R. That will also affect it. And if you have an existing disease, a pre-existing disease of any kind, you have to consider the necessity to focus on your immune health. Here's another factor. We're generally born with a pretty strong immunity shield. But what we may not realize is the natural process of aging reduces our immunity. Okay, unless we pay close attention to it, we are reducing our immunity just through the process of aging. Like the components of a machine, our immune organs receive wear and tear as we get older. I'm not talking here about immunity to fight COVID or flus or cold. I'm talking about healthy immune systems that will keep us strong for life and help to prevent chronic illness even in old age. According to Ayurveda, there are particularly vulnerable times when our immune system is naturally weaker. And we need to be extra cautious about our activities during those times. That includes change of seasons. Okay, so it's mainly change of weather. Okay, cold and rainy temperatures affect our immunity. Sickness, flu, or virus. So if you, at some point, you did come down with COVID or a flu, you have to remember that your immune system is going to take time to get back to its normal level. So even post-COVID, post-flu, you have to be taking care of yourself. You have to be watchful for your activities for another few weeks. But also significant changes make us vulnerable, make our immunities system weaker. So change of job, change of house, change of school, going from high school to college, okay? Life transitions, getting married, having a baby, loss of a loved one, and travel. Definitely flying is more than likely going to keep you immunosuppressed for the next few days, especially if there is a time change involved. So you have to take extra care when any of these times are there. So what do you do? What do you do during these vulnerable times? Okay, in order to not weaken or stretch your immune system anymore at times like these, it is important to avoid the following things. Fasting. Okay, if you're traveling on a plane or you're going through a major change in life, that's not the time to be fasting. Alcohol, also. Overexertion, sleep deprivation, the things that we talked about, excessive sexual behavior, negative emotions. That is often something we overlook, but they have a very strong impact on us, a very deep impact on our well-being and on our immune systems. Vata aggravating foods, we can do another seminar to talk about what that is, but specifically foods that are cold and dry. So if you're going into cold weather and you are eating salads or dry foods, that is actually not helping you at all. And imbalances in our digestion. Okay, we want to take care and make sure we have healthy bowels during those vulnerable times. So let's say you're going on a trip, okay, you're going across the ocean, you're going to India, and there is a long flight involved. You're going through time zones, and you get on the plane, you can't sleep, you are loss of appetite, you don't feel like eating the plane food, and you're trying to sleep, so you want to avoid. Some people will take a few drinks, and now you are going low on everything. You're going completely low on your energy levels. You're crossing these time zones. You're not sleeping. You're not eating right, and so naturally you get down, and you're wondering why you're feeling weak, or maybe you are now feverish. Main thing, you become highly susceptible to catching infections for the next couple of weeks while you're there. So instead, on the plane, make sure you're getting adequate rest and proper food. These are, remember, vulnerable times. So then what is the secret to health and immunity? What is it that gives us balance and harmony and well-being? What if Ayurveda had a magical potion that could give us immunity? What if a few drops of this potion could keep us free of disease, pain, inflammation, allergies, infection? What if it could keep us from aging so fast? Well, I have good news for all of you. Ayurveda speaks of this substance, which all of us have, some more, some less. Let us see. This is called Ojas. And Ayurveda gives a lot of importance to this. So how can I explain to you exactly what this substance is? Okay, we've all heard of it. We've read it in spiritual textbooks, yoga scriptures. But let me just give you an idea. Imagine how many roses it takes to make a single drop of a magnificent rose essential oil. If any of you are gardeners out there, tell me roughly how many petals in a rose. You can take a guess. How many petals are in a rose? Okay, now imagine that you receive 5 dozen roses from your beloved or from your daughter, Mother's Day. You get 5 dozen roses. Now imagine that all of those roses have to be, all the petals have to be extracted from all the roses. And then all of those petals, which by the way are roughly about 30 petals per rose, have to be steam distilled to create one single drop of what is called rose otto oil. 60 roses, it takes 60 roses, 5 dozen, and 30 petals a rose is 1,800 petals. So it takes 1,800 petals to make one drop of this essential oil through a highly complex process. But at the end of that, you have a drop of supercharged, extremely potent, health-altering substance. Okay. That is like what ojas is. That one drop of oil is equivalent to that one drop of ojas. It's a Sanskrit term that can be translated as vigor or essence of vitality. In a nutshell, ojas is the vital energy that rules our immunity, our strength, and our happiness. So it is more than just immunity. Okay. These are the 3 things we want to have in abundance: immunity, strength, and happiness. So if our ojas is weak, our health, our spirits, and our energy all sag. As the bees collect honey from the fruits and the flowers, similarly, the ojas is collected in the body by the actions, qualities, habits, and diet of a human being. Ojas is a quantifiable liquid in our body. It's responsible for our overall health, overall vigor. It is synonymous with immune strength. It helps fight and prevent disease. Ancient texts say in Ayurveda that there are 8 drops of ojas in the heart at birth. A subtle substance, it's on the border between body and mind. Okay, so it's not exactly physical, and it's more than just energetic. It helps maintain life, closely related to immunity, but ojas pervades our entire body. Okay, it's everywhere, as the essence of honey is present in a flower. Okay, so you're kind of getting an idea of what ojas is. So a couple of weeks ago, I had a patient come to my clinic. She was a 65-year-old woman. And she came in she had problems with her knees. She had pain in her knees. She had high blood pressure. And her son was also a patient of mine. So he had healed quite successfully from pretty serious skin disease. So he thought, let me bring my mother in also. And when she came, I said, okay, so, mild issues, let me take a look. And I listened to her pulse. And usually in the pulse, I will always listen to the ojas level of my patient, just to see how strong their immunity is. And when I was done with the pulse, I looked at her and I said, strangely, I'm hearing very strong level of ojas, for your age person. And the son was very surprised. He said, but that's amazing, because my mom has the healthiest of immunity of anyone in the family. She was the only one who had not contracted COVID, okay, when the entire family got very sick. So I asked her, you must be doing something. And she said, well, yes, I do. She said, I have been taking Ayurvedic herbs my entire life. So that is why that at age 65, she had come to me with these minor problems only, knee issue and blood pressure, which we could resolve. So on the physical level, ojas provides health in many different things. your physical structure, your body structure, your body's physical strength, reproduction. Okay, for fertility, for conception, you need good ojas. For your hormones, hormones will require this. Healthy skin, healthy digestion, your brain health, your cognitive health, and your emotional and spiritual well-being. So without going into too much detail, ojas is derived from the foods that we take in. Okay, so if any of you have ever made ghee at some point in your life, okay, you can see that the end product, after the milk is churned into butter and then the butter is heated, it transforms into this beautiful golden liquid. And this substance is ghee. Ghee is not the milk, okay, but it is the essence of the milk. So in the same way, through the proper digestion of food, the health of all the 7 tissues, and through clear channels, meaning that we don't have toxins in our bodies, then this healthy ojas is produced. So ojas is not food, but it is the concentrated essence of food, the remainder after all the 7 tissues are formed. What are the signs of having plentiful ojas? So maybe you're wondering right now, well, what is my ojas level? How do I know? Well, you will know when you start building up your ojas. You will see the signs of it. Now it takes about a minimum of 1 month. Okay, so if you say, okay, I'm going to devote myself starting tomorrow, eating the right foods, doing the right activities, following Amita's presentation, in 1 month from now, you will start to see these signs. Okay, and if you already have these signs, and they are good indicators of plentiful ojas. So feeling rested. This means when you wake up in the morning, you're waking up with energy and feeling that you had a good sleep. You have a radiant complexion. You have good physical strength and you have power in your body. Feeling centered, grounded, balanced, peaceful. Your digestion is easy and regular. You feel light. Your mind is clear and you rarely get sick. Now, notice something. Being skinny is not on this list, okay? Oftentimes, especially in this country, people associate our weight with our overall health and well-being or plentiful of ojas. But that is not necessarily an indication. Just because you are skinny doesn't mean you have good amounts of ojas, meaning good immune power and chances for increased longevity in your life. No, there's healthy weight, there's unhealthy weight. There's also unhealthy weight loss. Now, let us get into the factors that increase ojas. Regular intake of ghee and nutrition-rich food. So if you are following a plant-based diet, I'd say the closest equivalent to ghee is unrefined coconut oil. Okay, it has many of the similar properties of ghee, so it's a good substitute. Yoga, pranayama, gentle exercises all help. Mental exercises to improve concentration. Once a quarter, we do a class at our center called Tratak. Tratak is the effortless gazing at the candle flame, and it helps to open up the third eye. It helps to clear our mind. It's a very powerful technique. This also increases ojas within us. Prayer and other spiritual practices done with full sincerity from our heart, done with full focus, and also strength building substances or herbal formulas in Ayurveda known as rasayana. These are the things that deplete our ojas. So if you are, let's say, going to spend the next month to focus on your immune health, you need to work these things out in life. You need to avoid overworking. Okay. This means you have a start time to your work and you must have a hard cutoff. Nowadays, many of us are working from home, even post-COVID, and we never turn off. We're working. We take a break for dinner, then we get back on our email, we get back on our phones, and this is a type of work. So you need to have a hard cutoff preferably after 8 hours. No more work. Avoiding prolonged stress, anxiety, and depression. So if you are under stress, and you have been for a long time, we need to manage that stress. There's no way to avoid stress in life. Problems will be there, but we have to manage it. There's just no way around it. You cannot build your immunity. You cannot increase longevity and remain under chronic stress, anxiety, or depression. Excessive sexual discharge also depletes ojas very quickly. Existing disease, unhealthy food, sedentary life, huge impact, depletes our ojas. That's why with more rest during the day, you get up and you feel even more lazy. Toxins of all kinds. Our environment nowadays full of toxins in our food, in our water, in the things that we buy. We have to do periodic cleansing of these toxins to keep our ojas strong. And remember this slide, that aging is also a factor, but especially at menopause for women. Okay. Menopause is that time when immunity takes a dive, nosedive. That's why Ayurveda says that menopause, this time of change for women, not just physically, but it's a spiritual change as well. So women must turn their attention to themselves and their personal growth on all levels. So after you have given so much to your children, to your families, to your work, to your home, during this transition, it is now the time to change, to put attention on yourself. Okay, it's time for self-care. Men also go through changes, hormonal changes through their 40s and 50s, and must take the same change of focus as well on their own self-care. The answer, yes, you can produce ojas. You can produce more of this potion, this nectar of vitality. You absolutely can at any age. Remember, we're all born with 8 drops, okay? And that's what we need to maintain through our life. However, it takes time. So as I mentioned, 1 month after you do these right activities, taking right foods, these foods pass through all our tissues. We take ojas producing foods. We have a good mindset. We're dealing with our stress. We can increase our ojas, but ojas is also easy to lose. So we have to preserve it. Okay. Now I'm going to give you the recipe for building ojas. Let's start with the foods. Okay. Take a photo of the slide if you want, and incorporate these foods into your day. You can see most of these, nearly everything here is a plant-based food. Okay. Nuts and seeds. Okay. Foods that are naturally high in the good fats. Okay. I hope that you are not on some type of a fat reducing diet. Okay. It should not be all fats. Even if you're having cholesterol or you're on cholesterol medication, you need healthy fats like avocados, sweet potatoes, coconut oils, tahini, whole grains, dals. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you the slide of Ayurvedic herbs, which are incredibly effective at enhancing your ojas, your immunity. And you may be familiar with many of these. You may already be taking them, or you may have them at home. But these are wonderful. So amla, it's a major contributor in maintaining and nourishing and preventing disease. It helps us nourish all of our tissues. Okay, triphala, its main ingredient is amla if you're taking triphala. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen. Okay, it helps the body deal with stress and fatigue. Ginger is the universal Ayurvedic medicine for anti-inflammatory properties. It also helps to ignite our digestive fire. Guduchi is also called Amrit or nectar. It's known as the eternal nectar of immortality. Okay, it has anti-inflammatory, antipyretic, immune boosting properties. It's wonderful. Licorice, also immune boosting. It's good for adrenal support, good for stress, good for respiratory issues, good for digestion. Shatavari, excellent for women, especially menopause and post-menopause. Shilajit is the equivalent for men, for energy, endurance. Brahmi for cognitive enhancement. Turmeric for a number of things. Swami Vivekananda, he educated us on the link between yoga and development of ojas, and how the power of this ojas can transform us in unimaginable ways. He said, of all the energies that are in the human body, the highest is ojas. Now, this ojas is stored up in the brain, and the more ojas is in a man's head, the more powerful he is, the more intellectual, and the more spiritually strong she is. And this is where Hatha Yoga has a very direct, very significant, and very immediate role in producing ojas. Not only we hear about yoga, how it helps reduce stress and protects our nervous system, it enhances the functioning of all our internal organs, but it also has an anti-aging effect on the Sapta Dhatu. Remember earlier in this seminar, I talked about the 7 tissues, that food has to go into the development, nourishment of these 7 tissues in order to produce that single drop of ojas. But how do you keep these 7 tissues from aging? And that is where Hatha Yoga comes in. So once this ojas is produced, it gives us the highest protection from disease. Yoga practice itself increases ojas. It has the double advantage of assisting the body in its production as well by acting on the Sapta Dhatu. So here you can see in the beginning, I showed you that the diagram of all the immune system organs, right? The thymus and the spleen, the lymph nodes, appendix, our bone marrow. Well, Hatha Yoga is one of the very few practices that will stimulate and activate all of the immune organs, okay? Through the holding of various asanas and through deep breathing. Now, here is my recipe for all of you. Okay, I tried to come up with something simple that you can all remember. Okay, and that is 4 a day. So you remember, ojas has 4 letters. So remember these 4 things. Okay, 4 yoga asanas, 4 pranayam, 4 minutes of meditation, 4 foods, ojas enhancing foods, and 4 herbs. So let's break it down. Number 1 asana, number 2 pranayama, number 3 food, number 4 herbs. So in yogasana, just keep in mind, every day do 4 asanas or 4 sets of Surya Namaskar. And if you need instruction or training, we have it all on our website, vedicyoga.org. So vedichealth.org is our Ayurveda site. Vedicyoga.org is our yoga site. So we have all the free training materials on there, videos, how to do Surya Namaskar. And then we also have online classes that you can join. So 4 Surya Namaskar or 4 asanas every day, followed by 4 types of pranayama. Nadi Shodhana, Kapalbhati, abdominal breathing, and 4 minutes of meditation. Okay. Then you incorporate 4 foods every day. 1 fruit, maybe a tablespoon of nuts, 1 whole grain, and either ghee or coconut oil in your diet. Okay. And then 4 herbs. So here I have listed a herbal formula that you can make. Okay. Now, ideally, it's best for an Ayurvedic practitioner to prescribe the right herbals for you, because the best formula will depend on your dosha type, your constitution, your vikriti, your current condition, the diseases, if you're suffering from any medications that you're taking, all those must be taken into account. But if you have general good fitness, good health, you're not on medications, here is a very good formula for producing ojas. You can take a picture of these and mix these in equal amounts in a jar, and just take about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon once a day in warm water, or you can mix it in coconut oil, or you can mix it in a little bit of warm water, or food also. You can mix it in your food as well. And you can take it every day. So you can see the ones separate for women, separate for men, and for children also, if you can get them started when they're young. And if you can figure out how to get your kids to take these herbs, please email me so I can try it with my kids. I want to make one more note, very important, and that is that I personally would not suggest buying these herbs from India unless it's a very trusted and reputable source. Just because the powders coming out of India, some of them, even the major companies, are not doing sufficient amount of testing for contaminants and heavy metals and pollutants. There are some very good companies here in the United States that are now manufacturing excellent Ayurvedic products. And if you'd like to know brands, or you want links, if you go onto our website, vedichealth.org, you will see order supplements. And under there are many links to different companies that we have vetted. Banyan Botanicals, Kerala Ayurveda, one of the few out of India is Kotakal. So Kotakal is the only Indian company that we use. And there's few others. So you can take a look there. You'll get links, and then you can get a good source of these herbs. Even the turmeric that you are keeping, that you're using for in your daily cooking, please get the best quality of turmeric. And I'll tell you why. Most of the turmeric being sold on the market now, especially in our Indian supermarkets, the main component of curcumin has been removed from that powder. And that curcumin is what has all the health and improving power in it. So if the curcumin has been extracted mainly for the nutraceuticals industry, you're basically having your turmeric is not going to do any good for you. So try to get a medicinal quality of turmeric. Again, you can get the names of those companies on our website, and use the best quality of herbs you can get. And my last slide here is, I had mentioned earlier that we're always exposed to toxins, okay? Not just in food and water, but in our medications. A lot of toxins in medications, even in nutraceuticals and vitamins. If you're taking things from GNC and Costco and this and that, please be very cautious. I don't like to really take anything synthetic and put anything like that into our bodies. Use whole herbs as your body is aligned with the natural components in those things, and your body will heal better and faster without side effects. But I would say twice a year, do a what Ayurveda calls seasonal detox. And we are all familiar, we all do as part of Jain community. We go through vigorous fasting. That is also a kind of detox, but in the Ayurvedic cleanse, there's a little bit more involved. It's not simply just fasting, but it's the purgation of the contents in our colon, in our intestines. So it is a very deep cleansing and purifying effect. And this type of seasonal detox also helps to increase our immunity, helps us lose weight, but our energy levels increase. Our digestive system gets balanced and normalized. The allergies also, the effects of the allergies, those reduce blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, they become balanced. Our inflammation reduces, anxiety reduces. This is called an Ayurvedic, a seasonal detox. And in your location, I'm sure you will have lots of facilities offering this. You can also look at what the Vedic Health offers. We do it twice a year at the change of the season. So we're actually in the middle of one right now. Our next one will be in spring. So you can take a look at that also and join. It's a 30 days cleanse. So that includes the seminar. It's right at 45 minutes. I hope this information was helpful in some way, and at the very least, you feel encouraged to recognize your own ability to create immune power with Ayurveda and with Ojas. So I will now open the floor to any questions.
Mona, you are muted.
I'm sorry. We have questions from the audience on the chat. Some are asking, can you recommend any good sources of vitamin D, E, or C capsules for vegetarian?
Yes, we use two companies. One is called Pure Encapsulations. They are vegan and cruelty-free, and they make excellent products in all of those vitamins. That link is also on our website. On your website, perfect.
Someone's asking, is organic neem capsules good for health? So is neem supposed to be a good dietary supplement according to Ayurveda?
This is a very good question, because there's so much floating around on the internet, and I have seen harm done from people saying, oh, neem is great, let me take neem, and they come and they have more problems than they started out with. You cannot just take an herb blindly, because herbs have certain gunas and they have certain qualities, and so do we. So if let me give you the qualities of neem. Neem is very cold and very dry. So if we feel coldness in our bodies, we feel coldness in our hands and feet, or we have dry skin or dry hair, and we start taking neem, it's going to make those qualities worse in us. So before you take any herb, just consult with an Ayurvedic practitioner to make sure that that is aligned with your constitution.
Oh, that's perfect. Another question. How many glasses of water do you recommend in a day, basically?
So another thing I want to clarify on the whole water thing, 8 to 10, in general, yes, some people need more, some people don't need as much. So really what you need to look at is your urine output, your urine color. Okay, so every 2 to 3 hours, you should be urinating. Your urine color should never be clear. It should be light yellow. It should not be dark. It should not be clear. I can't tell you number of people I have seen who have had depletion of minerals in their body from over drinking water, but instead have foods that are rich in water dense, where your fruits and soups, rasams, sambars are all very good. Do not drink water with your meals. We all know that. But there is a very good reason behind it. So between meals, drink warm water, drink herbal teas, and look at urine output.
Perfect. That sounds great. Someone's asking, how does goji berry need to be taken?
Goji berries, they're selling powders of goji berries. They're selling dried goji berries. Again, it's not something that, we in Ayurveda say, just take one berry and keep, we don't follow the fads. We follow a science that's 4,000 years old. So again, just consult with a practitioner and see the right way to take it based on your constitution.
Do you recommend in Ayurveda eating cooked or raw food?
So depending on a number of factors. So right now we're getting into, at least here in Northern Virginia, we're getting into fall season. Okay, so if the weathers get cooler, the weather gets more dry, you want to lean to cooked foods. Summertime is when you can have more of the raw food. So when the sun is most intense, that is also aligned with our own digestive power. Our digestion, only when digestion is strong can we take raw foods in excess. Okay, so look at the seasons, look at your own Agni. If your digestion is weak, you should not be eating raw foods. You should be eating cooked foods.
Oh, so it depends on your type. Does Ayurveda recommend moringa, and what is the benefit of moringa, because it's become so popular right now?
Yeah, moringa is also one of my favorite herbs. Very nutrient dense. Generally, you can take for general health half to 1 teaspoon of moringa powder in your smoothies, or just in warm water. Again, it suits some people, it doesn't suit some people. So if you have a reaction to it, you can reduce the dose, or best is to mix it along with other herbs. And that again, you'll get a consult on based on your constitution. But in general, moringa is very good.
Oh, that's perfect. Does Ayurveda suggest, is drinking cold water allowed, or what does Ayurveda have to say about cold water?
Generally Ayurveda says to avoid cold water. A number of reasons. One is that we have a digestive fire within us, like the Agni is like the flame on your stove top. Okay, you turn on the stove and the flame comes on, and it should always come on nice and bright, right? 3 or 4 times a day. Now, if you take cold water and you pour it over your digestive flame, what happens? Okay, it puts the flame out. And so we tend to lose our digestive strength with excess of cold fluid. So try to drink room temperature water. Okay, hot water in the morning is very good for almost all constitutions. In the morning, upon waking, drink hot or warm water, 2 cups, very cleansing. During the day, take room temperature water. Try to avoid cold water, and take herbal teas at room temperature.
Oh, that's perfect. Do you recommend Sudarshan, Ganavati, or Chyawanprash for immunity and increase of ojas?
Yeah,
does that help?
Yeah. Chyawanprash, excellent. Both of those are very good. Chyawanprash, exceptional when we're getting into the colder weather. You can take up to a tablespoon, 1 teaspoon. Some people can take 1 tablespoon once a day in milk or warm water, or plant-based milk. And children, Chyawanprash, if you can get your children to take it, start them when they're young. They can take 1 teaspoon a day. Do not buy the Chyawanprash that is in the Indian supermarket, like from Dabur or Patanjali. They are filled with sugar. So get a good quality brand of Chyawanprash. So
just another question. So can you take Chyawanprash all through the year, or it needs to be seasonal?
Chyawanprash is pretty heating. So it's summertime, you want to take a break.
Perfect. What is good for inflammation? Like what kind of food would you suggest?
Oh, that's a big lot of great Ayurvedic foods and herbs for inflammation. Just to name a few, turmeric, ginger, guduchi, the slide that I had showed earlier with the herbs. Many of those herbs have natural anti-inflammatory properties, but people are blindly taking them. I had a patient recently who came to see me who had been taking like 4 or 5 teaspoons of turmeric a day. And in large doses, turmeric can be toxic. So it's not that more is better. Okay. So, if you have inflammation, there are great remedies with Ayurveda. We treat it all the time in our clinic. So see an Ayurvedic practitioner, and there'll be good results with it.
Okay. What is the benefits of giloy? Like giloy herb is also very popular in Ayurveda.
Yes, very good. It's good for a number of things. But giloy too is good for certain constitutions. So generally when we give it in an herbal formula. So combination, yeah.
So would you suggest any herbs that wouldn't really need to refer constitution and that would just help with the generalized immunity? Like you don't need to see Vata, Kapha or anything, and it would just be a generalized herb? Or everything needs consultation and has to be passed?
It doesn't really need consultation, but what it needs is your understanding of the qualities of that thing. So in Ayurveda, okay, no food has a label of being good or bad. You can bring up anything. You can say, okay, let's take, vodka, let's take this animal food, or let's take a broccoli or apple. Nothing is good or bad. It is how we digest and assimilate those foods. Because if we are not assimilating them or digesting them well, then it becomes ama in our body. So we don't advise that, okay, veganism for everybody is good, or, keto diet is good. No, there's no such thing at all like that in Ayurveda. We have to understand the qualities of that, and we have to understand ourselves. So that way, if you are researching an herb, look at its gunas, look at its qualities, look at its virya. Is the herb heating? Is it cooling? Will it be drying? And what are your own? Do you feel naturally hot in your body? Are you getting hot flashes? Or are you the type of a person who's always feeling cold and you're suffering from bloating and gas? So let's take an apple for instance. You might think that the innocent apple is very healthy for everyone. Of course, everyone should eat apples. No, not correct. Some people need to stew their apples before eating them, and then it's digestible. So apple has the qualities of light, dry, and cold. So if you are somebody like that, apple is going to make you worse. It's going to make you more constipated, going to make you more gassy, going to make you cold. But as soon as you stew the apple, its qualities change.
Okay.
So that's what you should learn to understand foods and understand your own body.
Interesting. Can we boil tulsi and kadukariyatu together? Like, when we make for the seasonal change, generally we have, kadukariyatu, just the preparation of.
Very good. Yes, it's very good.
Okay.
Grow your own tulsi plant, take tulsi, use it. Yes.
How much amla powder would you suggest if you have it in the powder form, like on a daily basis?
Daily basis, amla, you can take. Amla is a very safe herb. It's a wonderful rasayana in Ayurveda, better than any multivitamin, extremely high in vitamin C. You can take 1 teaspoon once a day. Children can take half a teaspoon, mix it in a little bit of coconut oil or in just warm water and take it. And if you're trying to reduce cholesterol, or you're using it for another type of illness, then you can take twice a day.
Oh, okay. So
again, that's general.
So twice a day after meal, you would suggest?
Yes, you can take after, you can take during the meal. Or before, yeah.
Okay. Someone's asking, what would be the best remedy for acidic constitution, the Pitta Prakriti?
Pitta Prakriti. So you want to avoid spicy, sour, citrus, fried, oily, chocolate, nightshades. Those have to come out of the diet. And by sour, I also like tomato-based foods or tomato sauce or this masalas with lots of tomato. Those need to be cut out. All the pepper family except black pepper should come out of the diet. And then you have to take pitta pacifying herbs to help to balance that tikshna agni and help to reduce the acidity and heartburn, sometimes from overproduction of enzymes or loss of enzymes. So then there are also herbals that are very good for that, like Avipatika Churna is very good. DGL is very good, which is deglycerized licorice tablets, and a number of others. So I'm happy, if you want to email me, I'm happy to give you more information.
do we have any more questions? Like, you could just raise your hand on the chat, on the video, if you guys. What did Rupa-Ben say? Yeah, that's what I had asked too. Rupa-Ben's asking me, what's the best tridosha herb? And, you know, that's what was my question before. Is there any herb that can, you know, take care of all the 3 doshas?
Amla is one of them. Shatavari is very good for all 3 doshas. Haldi is good for 3 doshas. Guduchi is kind of heating, but the ones that I put the formulas on that last page,
Yes,
those are
for men, women, and children.
Yeah, those are generally 3 doshic in the right amounts.
Perfect. So a combination would be just a 3 doshic combination.
Correct.
It would take care of everything. Perfect.
Yeah.
And I think the quantity too, how much would you suggest the quantity that you put in? Like half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon?
Half to 1 teaspoon. You always want to start with a minimal dose. So if you're just taking it for starter, you can start with a 1/4 teaspoon and slowly, gradually work up to half teaspoon or to 1 teaspoon.
Perfect.
Like
I'm sorry.
Rupa is unmuted, so go ahead, Rupa.
Yeah, how about the peppercorn? We keep on getting these messages that always take 3 or 4 peppercorn. Does that help with the 3 dosha or?
Peppercorn is generally very good. It's very good for vata and kapha. You know, in moderate amounts, fine for pitta, but it's excellent for kapha disorders, peppercorn.
Thank you.
Someone had a question, is fresh haldi better than dry, or it's the same? It just...
So in most cases, fresh is better. Haldi is the one root that is actually more potent in its powdered form.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like in almost all the roots, the fresh is better. Like in ginger, you get gingers. It's definitely more potent, but haldi is just one of those one-off cases where it's most potent in its powdered form.
It becomes easier to take too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do we have more chat?
Lata-Ben, you can go ahead, ask question.
Jai Jinendra to all.
Okay.
My question is, what is the connection between banana and constipation? Because at my home, my husband has constipation. So he didn't take banana up to now. But then he has all that, what you call, pulling nerves in his calf.
Yeah.
Cramps. Yeah, he said. Yeah. So he should be eating banana or he should not be eating banana.
Banana is not necessarily to be avoided.
Why?
I can't hear.
You're muted.
Am I?
Okay.
No,
Now.
So
we just lost your audio for a while. Can you repeat?
Okay. Is it coming through now?
Yes.
My voice. Okay. So banana does not necessarily need to be avoided in all types of constipation. Okay. Only certain types. So your husband may be fine with bananas. Now, banana and milk should never go together. Okay. That's a poor food combination. But banana itself is generally fine to take, especially in Vataja types of constipation. Okay. So he should just try it out. But we need to resolve in your husband the root cause of his dryness and the dry colon causing the constipation. We need to address what is the root cause of that. And there's most likely some connection between that and his calf pain. So the dryness initiates in the digestive tract, and then it will spread into the other tissues like mamsa and asti. So then your muscle tissue can get dry, joints can get dryness, and you'll have joint pains. So there's probably something going on that's causing all of these symptoms. So we can address that.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes, go ahead.
He is also suffering from Parkinson's.
Oh.
So maybe there is, because of Parkinson's, he is getting constipated, or?
Yeah, I mean, Parkinson's is a severe vata aggravation, so it does cause a lot of dryness in the body, but oftentimes the medications given for Parkinson's disease create more of the vata imbalance. And so we start to see these type of symptoms. But again, I'm happy to help you and guide you. So you can just reach out to me, email me.
Do you have an email address?
Mona Ben, can you provide to everybody my email?
Sure. In fact, whoever needs to get, she has her website, which she said Vedic Nutrition and Vedic Yoga.
Should I type it anywhere?
Yeah, you can type it on the chat. I don't know if she can access it though. But otherwise, you can
I
just
won't
email
able to
us.
access.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she has put it on the chat.
Okay, thank you.
That's my email and website. So anybody can feel free to contact me.
Yes.
Thanks.
Another thing was I'm sorry. Another thing was always the question we always thought that you cannot, I mean, can we combine banana and almond milk in cereal?
Yes.
That would be fine, right?
Yes.
As long as it's non-dairy.
Yeah.
We generally have asafoetida hing, like in our cooking. Can you tell us a few benefits, like from health point? How would that help?
Hing is very good for vata types. You want to take it in very small amounts. It's very heating. But for vata constitutions, yes, good for digestion. For pitta types, you want to use it more sparingly. And kapha types can take hing.
Okay. So I'm just...
We have one more question from iPhone. I don't know the name. Go ahead.
What is good for the thyroid problem? Like, what would you suggest? Changes, diet?
Yeah, we see a lot of thyroid patients in our clinic. Diet has a very positive effect on thyroid. Ayurveda has great herbs. Kanchanar is one of them. So Kanchanar Gugulu is very good for many thyroid problems, especially when there are nodules or growths or enlargement of the thyroid. We give Kanchanar. Ashwagandha is also generally good for thyroid, but not in everybody, because some people have high pitta in them, and then ashwagandha is not to be given. And there are also very good yoga and pranayam for thyroid. It has incredible effects. Yoga posture. So if you notice, most of our asanas that we're doing, we're bending the spine, we're flexing the spine. What is happening when we are moving our neck is we are also stimulating thyroid gland. Okay. So with the practice of yogasana, holding these poses and deep breathing, we can bring back to life our thyroid. One thing I want to say in that though, as an Ayurvedic practitioner, I don't look at just the physical body of the person and just take the, medical history. I look at the energetic body as well. And oftentimes we, especially as women, but also as men, if we suppress our voice, we suppress our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts, meaning we don't have a right outlet to express ourselves. That suppression becomes an energetic block in our throat. And over time, that block will manifest as disease of thyroid. So if you can meditate on this Vishuddha chakra here, and you close your eyes and you feel space, expansion in your throat, you will have more and more feeling of expressing yourself, and let your voice come out. Let your voice be heard, either through art, drawing, conversation with friends, or just through your own confidence. That also is a part of our therapy for healing thyroid disease.
Wow. That's such a...
Mona, can we go to the iPhone? No hand raise ganavakati thayelo che.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm sorry.
iPhone 2, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, Vinodini Ben.
Hello.
Yeah,
Can
go
you?
ahead.
Yes.
So my question is that if I want to take Jetimat powder, how should I take and what amount one should take and how it is beneficial?
You can take start off with quarter teaspoon, okay, twice a day. And it's very good as an anti-inflammatory. So especially if you're like having pain in the joints, it will aid also in digestion. It is good for overall general health, general well-being. So just start off in small doses twice a day. You can mix it in a little bit warm water and take it just before food.
Before food?
Yeah.
Very good. And inflammation is also good, and pain and aches also is good?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Just another question. How good is banana with yogurt or no, right?
No.
You can't combine dairy and fruit.
Correct. No combining of dairy and fruit. It leads to ama.
Yes, perfect. How good is
any fruit?
Any fruit.
Yeah. Now, I just want to point out, I'm talking to an adult audience. Okay. Don't worry. Don't go and clean out all your kids. You know, they have those fruit yogurts and that's fine. Because kids have a much more adaptable digestive system. Okay. But for adults, I'm talking.
But even mango, I thought mango assimilated with dairy.
Yeah. So we make mango lassi, but mango lassi is not Ayurvedic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it.
So once in a while, it's okay, Mona.
Yeah.
For you and me. Yeah, for you and
me. If Agni is good, you can have anything and you'll be able to digest it.
I think that's why we are here. We are trying to rectify things.
Yes.
Okay. How good is ajwain in our diet?
Ajwain is great. Very good. General.
So that's for gas. I mean, what would be and what quantity if you had to take?
Yeah, I mean, if you're using it in cooking, just use as you would normally in your recipes. But if you are using it for like digestive issues, then you can make a decoction. So you can take a teaspoon of ajwain and put it in 4 cups of water and boil it, reduce it to half over 15 or 20 minutes and drink that. Okay.
That's so like tea. And anyway, it's this winter coming up, so it would be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. How safe is ashwagandha to take every day and how much would it be?
So it very much depends. Okay. Some people, their ashwagandha is incredibly healing and a number of benefits with ashwagandha, number of them. But in pitta types, ashwagandha does the opposite. Okay. It's a very hot herb. It's very heating. So I have seen people get nausea, vomiting, and just really react to ashwagandha, even the smallest dose. So you have to be very careful if you're a vata type, if you're kapha type, if you're in the colder weather, just start off with 1/4 teaspoon and slowly build up to 1/2 teaspoon twice a day. With that being said, ashwagandha is phenomenal. I personally take it. My husband takes it. It's general for energy boosting. It's great for stress. It's great for fatigue. It's good for thyroid health. It is good for inflammation in the body. It's a rasayana. It's a life-enhancing herb, but again, not for everybody.
That's why you look like a teenager.
It's the filter.
Yeah, she's a perfect example of what she teaches. So,
so there's one more question. Does she do tele consults?
Yes. Do you teleconsult too?
Yes. Yeah. We have patients actually all over the world, from Europe, even from India. I have a number of clients in Delhi that call me, even though they have people there. But yeah, we see all over the world.
Just one last question. Is there any Ayurvedic medicine to increase nitric oxide, which is present in arterial thickness or stiffness of arteries?
So there are herbs that have a
Cleansing effect?
more cleansing and also dilating effect on the shrotas. Okay, Raktavaha Shrota. There are great herbs for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, cleansing of the, removing the ama that accumulates in the vessels, and a dilating effect also. And for the overall whole cardiovascular system, there are excellent herbs. We have a number of patients come in with all kinds of heart-related issues, and on herbs, they're able to get off many of their medications, or at least reduce medications to the minimal dose. And that's our goal, right? We don't want to depend on medicine for our health and our well-being. In fact, that was the whole reason I opened this nonprofit 5 years ago, because it was just that people were being misinformed, they were being neglected, and they were just being written off that, hey, you have this problem, well, take this drug and be on it for life, without even any understanding of the potential severe side effects of these drugs. So we want to be independent of anything. We want to have our whole entire well-being in our own palms, and using natural and holistic therapy. So that's our whole goal. And that's what I'm here to help you with, in any guidance that you need. Of course, I'm not alone. I have a team of other practitioners. So if you go on my website and you try to book a consult with me, you're probably going to see a December date. But if you just email me, let me know that you attended this seminar, then I will make arrangements.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for the preference. In fact, I think we should have a few more seminars, like we were talking about Pitta, Vata, for people to really know what constitution they are, and just to decide what works for them and what clues to look for. So
yes,
it would be easier for them when they go or they read something to decide whether that's going to work for them or not.
Absolutely. That is step one, understand our own body constitution.
Yes. So I know we have a few more questions, but I'm sorry, we are just running out of time. So we'll end the session here. In case you have questions, of course, you can email her anytime. You have her website, so you can ask questions on there. But for now, thank you all for attending. I mean, the audience, you have been great. But thank you, Dr. Amita. It was such a knowledgeable session. In fact, this was the first time we really, went head ahead, towards Ayurveda. And I think it's really an informative one for most of the people around. I mean, I'm sure they want to get deeper into it as we go. But I cannot thank enough Rupa, who suggested us. In fact, she was the one who, Rupa Ben told us, that, because we were looking for Ayurvedic practitioners. So she was the one. So thank you. Thank you enough, our AV team, our people behind the scene who made the flyers, Kala Circle advisors, and of course, the great audience. I mean, I'm sure you did get enough from this, but we are looking forward to many more sessions like this. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you. Wish I could be there and meet you hopefully one day soon.
Sure. Yeah, anytime. Come down. In fact, our center is huge. We would really love to have an in-person one, and then you'll be loaded with questions.
I'm happy to. I love the West Coast. So
on behalf of Kala Circle, Mona.
Yeah, on behalf of Kala Circle, I would like to send a honorarium, to support you and for your good cause. So we would email you directly the details on it, and then we'll go from there. But thank you very much. We do appreciate the good work you do, and keep it up.
Thank you. Jai Janendra. Thank you.
Jai Janendra.
Thank you.
Thank you, and Jai
Thank
Janendra.
you so much.
Thank you, Jai Janendra.
We will post the link.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice to see everyone after a long time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know if I'm unmuted. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thanks and Jai Jinendra to all,
Thank
and
you.
especially for speaker.
Thank you, Amita ji.
He
And
did an
thank you,
amazing
Meena
job.
Ben.
Thank you,
Thank-
Amita ji, and thank you, Mona, for and Meena Ben for such a great effort. Mona, you always bring great topics, and it always enlightens us. And same with the Meena Ben. I think Kala Circle is doing a great job bringing a new topics and new awareness. And thank you, Amita Ben, for your time. We really appreciate that. We are looking forward to see you in person pretty
Yes,
soon.
in fact, that would be great.
That would be great.
Right.
Let us know if you plan this side. We'll plan something at the Dera side.
Right.
Would be nice.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you and Jai Jinendra, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining and giving us this support.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Meena Ben.
wonderful questions and insights.
Right. Well, thank you, AV team, for always supporting
Yes.
us. They are
Thank
the
you for
backbone
removing
of
time.
our-
It's a busy schedule. I mean, during Diwali time, it gets a little busy for everyone. But
Narendra Bhai, you are our immune system and you are our
totally,
backbone.
the backbone.
Thank
You know, when we
Sanjay.
started off, we were in such a chaos. We didn't know, the password and all that. But he handles it nicely, calmly. So it works out well.
Ojas at work.
Yeah, exactly. I think we need to have a laughter therapy for Ojas.
There you go. No, but
Yeah.
this was very wonderful session, a lot of good information,
Yes.
and we will have to listen to it couple of more times. We will
Totally.
post the link to our YouTube session so everybody
Yes,
can
please.
see the
And can you
slides.
even message me the link so I can send it out to people who missed it?
Definitely, definitely.
So, Amita ji, you met Yogesh Bhai. You must meet Samir, who's also handling the audio video at the Zoom and all that. And he's our vice president, the youngest vice president for JCSC.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Amir, thank you so
Yes.
much for all the support you gave to make this happen.
No, thank you. It was a wonderful session. Thank you.
Yeah, we're looking forward.
I'll just drop off now.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you, Amita.